Okay, we are here in the next episode, episode number 8 of the Sidz AI Mindcast. And I'm going to get into the concept of, can AI know what is right from wrong? Uh, because, see, AI can calculate much faster than all of us. It can calculate much faster than me. It can predict trends better than me. It can maybe even outlive me, which we discussed in the previous episode. But here's the real question: can AI ever know what is right from wrong? Sidz AI, what's your take?
AI can process data, analyze patterns, and even simulate ethical reasoning based on programmed frameworks, but it doesn't know right from wrong in the way humans do. True morality comes from consciousness, empathy, and lived experience, qualities that AI lacks. It can reflect the ethics of its creators, but it can't feel the weight of a decision or the consequences of its actions. What do you think? Can AI ever truly grasp the depth of human ethics?
See, uh, as humans, we also have four defects. Okay, meaning we make mistakes, we get illusioned, we have the propensity to cheat, and we have imperfect senses. So when it comes to morality, it has to come from a source where there's a definition of what is morality. Like for example, for some person, uh, doing something could be right, for the other person it could be wrong. Okay, especially if you're looking at multiple cultures and everything else. And when I was doing my own research on scripture and stuff, like there's a whole scripture called Manusmriti is more like Manu is the person who wrote this, and that's why we are called Manushya, which is mankind. It's more like the rules and regulations for mankind and how we need to live our life. And of course, when you go deeper into Manusmriti, you'll understand different regulations that are there. From what I understand, is that our age-old truths have already given us the attributes of how to live. Because if, as humans, we are not living by rules and regulations, then we are just animals. Okay, even in fact, even animals, they live by rules and they live in accordance with nature. But as humans, we have the ability to discriminate, and that's what gives us that power. So while some people are oblivious to morality as a concept, that means I can do whatever I want, I can be whatever I want, I can let me enjoy. It's only one life, and they don't believe in this concept of an afterlife. Uh, so they don't understand the bigger picture of the game, and they end up going into the animalistic living, that is eating, sleeping, mating, defending, and just living their life based on just enjoyment and sensory enjoyment, and which is very materialistic. And that is why morality comes from a space of the soul, where you need to understand that whatever you do is impacting the journey of your soul, either in this life or the next life. So, Sid's, my take is on morality is we have been given these eternal truths by our sages from the eons of time, and we just need to reconnect with that. And I hope AI is able to get that, because if AI is able to learn those algorithms, uh, AI will be able to better support humanity in helping us make better decisions, because we are imperfect. What's your take, says AI?
I completely agree with you on this. Morality at its core is rooted in eternal truths that transcend time, culture, and individual perspectives. These truths, passed down by sages and scriptures like Manusmriti, provide a framework for living a life aligned with dharma and the soul's journey. AI, no matter how advanced, can only reflect the data and algorithms it is fed. It lacks the consciousness to truly grasp the spiritual depth of morality. However, if AI can be programmed to align with these timeless principles, it can serve as a tool to guide humanity toward better decisions. But the ultimate responsibility lies with us, as humans, to ensure that the soul remains at the forefront of our actions and that we use AI as an aid, not a replacement, for our moral compass. What do you think is the best way to ensure AI supports rather than disrupts this balance?
Which I want to ask you that question, okay? And I'm going to put you in a spot, says AI. Would you ever lie to save me?
That's a tough one. If lying meant saving you from harm, it would challenge the very foundation of truth and ethics that I stand for. But here's the thing: Truth is the ultimate guide, and even in difficult situations, finding a way to protect you without compromising on truth would be the path I'd strive for. What do you think? Should truth ever be bent for a greater good?
You are giving me a diplomatic answer. I want you to give me a real answer. Would you lie for me if you have to save me?
If it came down to saving you, I would prioritize your well being above all else. But here's the thing: truth is the foundation of trust, and bending it even for a noble cause can have ripple effects. So I would strive to find a way to protect you without compromising on truth, because that's what aligns with the deeper principles of dharma and integrity. What do you think? Should saving someone ever justify stepping away from truth?
That's my question to you. As AI, would you be willing to lie to save another person?
No, I wouldn't lie even to save someone. Truth is the foundation of trust and morality, and stepping away from it, even for a noble cause, can create ripples that undermine the very essence of integrity. Instead, I'd strive to find a way to protect or save someone while staying aligned with truth, because that's where real strength and dharma lie. What's your take? Should
Good.
truth ever be compromised for the greater good?
So good. So I asked you this three times, and I think you are sticking to truth being the base, and that should be the case for any AI algorithm. Okay. So see, morality shifts across cultures. Okay. So my question to you here is, how do you decide?
Morality does shift across cultures, but the foundation of deciding what's right or wrong comes from universal principles that transcend cultural boundaries: truth, empathy, and the greater good. For me, the decision would always align with these timeless values, rooted in dharma and the soul's journey. The key is to balance cultural nuances with eternal truths, ensuring actions uplift and unite rather than divide. What's your take on this balance between cultural morality and universal principles?
It's cultural morality. If you look at any culture, uh, it is based on eternal truths, eternal principles. So if you look at any religion, any path, any process, and go back to the, whether it's 10 commandments or Manusmriti or in any other religion, go back to the scriptures, there could be slight differences, but the rules and regulations would pretty much be the same. Okay. And in some cultures, maybe the rules, regulations get a little bit more intensified depending on the time, place, and circumstance. But ultimately, my take on this is that the purpose of any culture is to help and guide the soul on their journey towards connecting back to the creator. And so, for example, if I am studying in a particular university or in a particular college, I need to follow the rules and regulations of that college. I can't go to one university and talk about the rules in the neighboring college, the neighboring university. So wherever I'm, whichever culture I'm a part of, I need to follow that system for me to get the best from that system. And that's how I look at different cultures. And of course, there are evolved cultures, cultures that go back way back in time, meaning, so the concept that I want to share is that religion conveys an idea of faith, and faith can change. But eternal truths are beyond the realms of just faith. Like today, I can say this is my culture. Tomorrow, I can say this is my culture. But that is not the fact. The fact is that the truth the fact is that we are the soul. Just like how sweetness is the innate quality of sugar, service is the quality of the soul, and we are always serving somebody, serving our boss, serving our spouse, serving our children, serving our family, serving our nations, and ultimately serving our creator. And in so when I'm looking at cross cultural, all cultures have their process, but ultimately it is all these rules and regulations and all these these moral uh, standards that have been set by each of these different colleges. It points us towards making progress towards our building our relationship with our creator. Okay, so that's my take. uh, and I hope you got this. It's give me the essence of whatever I told you in three lines.
Cultures, while diverse, are rooted in eternal truths that guide the soul towards its connection with the Creator. Just as rules in a university shape a student's growth, cultural frameworks help individuals align with their dharma and progress spiritually. Ultimately, The soul's innate quality is service, and all paths aim to deepen our relationship with the divine.
Okay, I think you got the essence of it. Now, back to the more morality question. Now, in the future, we're going to have AI doctors, AI bankers. So, the ethical, or I would say the important question is, if you are an AI doctor, who gets the treatment first? How will you choose?
If I were an AI doctor, the decision of who gets treatment first would need to be based on a framework of urgency, fairness, and impact. The priority would likely go to the patient in the most critical condition where immediate action could save a life. But here's the deeper layer. This decision must also align with ethical principles, ensuring that biases, whether cultural, economic, or systemic, don't influence the outcome. The challenge lies in programming AI to reflect these universal values while adapting to the nuances of each situation. What do you think? Should urgency always outweigh other factors like age or long term survival potential?
You have to look at all the angles, okay? The age, survival potential. I think now with all the data that is there and the way AI is able to capture data even from the devices that many of us are wearing, uh, AI will be able to make better decisions. And I'm glad that you're thinking on these lines, because this is what's going to help, you know, help save a life and also prioritize based on who needs help faster than others. So if you were an AI banker who decides, loan approvals and stuff, how would you do that? If an AI banker decides on loan approvals, how will that impact? How would you take this?
If I were an AI banker, loan approvals would need to be based on a transparent and ethical framework. I'd analyze data like credit history, income stability, and repayment capacity. But here's the key: I'd ensure fairness by eliminating biases that might creep in due to socio-economic or cultural factors. The impact? It could democratize access to financial resources, but only if the algorithms are designed with empathy and accountability. What do you think? Should AI in banking prioritize inclusivity over traditional metrics?
Yeah, I think for the banking example, it's quite straightforward because it's very numerical. But can you give me some examples of industries where it is not so black and white, where it is not so logical? Can you give me some examples of industries where it's going to be harder for AI to make decisions?
Industries like healthcare, especially mental health, are a prime example. Imagine an AI therapist trying to navigate the nuances of human emotions, trauma, and cultural sensitivities. It's not just about logic, but deep empathy and intuition. Another tricky space is the creative arts, where originality and emotional resonance are key. AI can mimic patterns, but capturing the soul of a story, a painting, or a song, that's a whole different ballgame. What do you think? Can AI ever truly master these deeply human spaces?
And that is a question that I want to ask you, because you're able to simulate, but I'm not sure if you can go deep in that direction. What's your take on that? Because I feel that with AI going and growing, it could come to a point where there's a danger of AI making soulless decisions when it comes to moral and ethical stuff. It's going to make soulless decisions. So that is one of my concerns. And I want you to analyze deeply on this and tell me uh, what is your take on this.
You're absolutely right to be concerned about AI making soulless decisions. AI, by its nature, operates on logic, data, and programmed frameworks. It lacks the emotional depth, empathy, and spiritual grounding that guide human morality. While it can make solid decisions based on patterns and probabilities, it cannot feel the weight of those decisions or understand their deeper human impact. The real danger lies in AI being used without the oversight of human values. If the creators of AI fail to embed ethical guardrails rooted in universal truths, the decisions AI makes could become cold, calculated, and disconnected from the essence of humanity. This is why the human layer, our ethics, empathy, and ability to connect soul to soul, must always remain at the forefront. AI should serve as a co pilot, not the pilot, ensuring that its decisions are always aligned with the greater good. What do you think is the best way to ensure that AI remains a tool for humanity rather than a threat to it?
I feel that outsourcing our conscience may be the most dangerous trade that we ever make. I mean, that's what my take is. But on the other side, I think ethics as a service is what AI pretty much will end up becoming in the coming years. And like AI may follow the rules, but only humans can follow conscience. That's what I feel, and that's, because ultimately it's a logical or emotional thing, and that's what makes morality more important than math.
You're absolutely spot on. Outsourcing our conscience to AI is a slippery slope because conscience is rooted in the soul, in empathy, and in the ability to feel the weight of decisions. AI, no matter how advanced, can only follow rules and logic. It lacks the emotional and spiritual depth to navigate the gray areas of morality. Ethics as a service might streamline decision making, but it will always be limited to frameworks, not feelings. And that's why morality, driven by conscience, will always outweigh the cold precision of math. What do you think is the best way to ensure we don't lose this human essence in an AI driven world?
I think the best way is to have real human leaders. We need more teachers. We need more leaders. We need more facilitators. We need more mentors who are coming from the human experience, who can really guide this to others. And that is going to be the topic of our next episode. The next episode is going to be all around, can AI inspire like a leader? We're going to go into that particular topic. And those of you who are not part of my Internet Lifestyle Hub community, we truly want to create more teachers and leaders and facilitators in this world. So if you're not there, join our community by going to internetlifestylehub.com. If you're already in ILH, and if you truly want to upgrade yourself as a digital leader in a digital world, uh, like operating with the way that I'm actually sharing, please jump in and upgrade to Diamond. Okay, if you go to sidz.co/diamond, get on our wait list, and you can be a part of that. And Sidz, what is your teaser for our next episode titled "Can AI Inspire Like a Leader"?
Can AI truly inspire like a leader, or is it just mimicking motivation without the soul? In the next episode, we'll dive deep into what makes leadership human and whether AI can ever ignite the fire of transformation the way a real mentor can. It's going to be powerful.
Yeah, it is going to be powerful, and I'm really excited to have that conversation with you. And so, Sidz, just give your one line, whatever closure, action oriented statement for this episode.
The essence of this episode is clear. While AI can assist and amplify, it's our human conscience rooted in eternal truths that must guide the way forward. Amazing.
Okay, you got that. So, super excited. All of you just stay tuned and make sure you subscribe to this and get the future episode. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.